Hi, in this video journal, I'll be going over the last part of the APERS scale, which is social competence, personal independence and competence, functional behavior, family involvement, and teaming. So for the social competence piece, the first two sections, so looking at multiple materials and activities that encourage communication and social interaction, are implemented as part of the curriculum, and that opportunities are provided for students with ASD to participate in extracurricular activities. I marked that as a strength for this program. I felt that when I was observing, there was a lot of group work. There was opportunities for students to work together in experiments and projects. They did inclusion PE once a week with the classroom is a 4th, 5th, and 6th grade classroom, and they did inclusion PE with a 4th grade class as well as 5th grade classes once a week, so they had two different inclusion times. They had inclusion recess and lunch, and all of the students are able to participate in activities provided by the school as well as extracurricular activities that are either provided by the school in the district or other extracurricular activities that are at the school but may not be provided by the school district. And the second block was team members conduct weekly, because it was a self-contained class, systematic, explicit instruction to promote social skills development of students with ASD in the classroom setting. And social skill interventions are implemented within natural environments where they are needed. And I also marked this as a strength for the classroom. There is social skills instruction, coping skills instruction, self-regulation instruction, behavior skills instruction, and then a mental health group that comes in weekly as well. The skills are explicitly taught to the students. They are given time to practice them in a structured setting, and then they also have opportunities to practice those and implement those skills in unstructured settings. So in lunch, in recess, transitioning times, unstructured times in the classroom, their daily trace times, things like that as well. So I felt that those two were a strength for the program. The last section under social competence looks at peer social networks, and I marked this as a challenge for the program. This says peer social networks are not implemented as part of the school's core curriculum. The school does not provide instruction to typically developing peers about how to be peer buddies. There are multiple opportunities for inclusion, which is amazing because not every district and every program has that, so that was a strength, but there wasn't any skills that were specifically taught to the typically developing peers. If a interaction happened or a situation happened that someone, a typically developing peer, did not handle something appropriately or did something that they shouldn't have, then it was corrected, but there wasn't any upfront teaching that happened. So I felt that that was a challenge for this program, and that's something that I would love to see changed, as I felt like it was an area of need. The second section is looking at personal independence and competence, and I felt like this was a real strength for this program. I felt that both of the sections underneath this, or subsections underneath this, were strengths. So it's looking at 3 or more strategies are used across the classroom activities to promote students' personal independence, and I felt this was a real strength. There are visual schedules so the students know what's happening when, and are able to keep up with that schedule and know what's coming next. There were visual boundaries all over the classroom, which really helped the students. They knew where they were and were not supposed to be, and they knew the expectations of what was supposed to happen if they wanted to cross those boundaries, and at what times they were or weren't allowed. It ran very smoothly in the classroom. They also had turn-in bins for all their work, so the students knew as soon as they were done where it belonged. They had an organized binder system, so each student had a binder and their work that was in their desk that was organized if it wasn't being turned in yet. And they also have daily behavior charts that are attached to a level system for their reinforcement, and the students wanted those reinforcements. They had buy-in because they helped create each of the list of reinforcers that were under each level system, and they wanted to earn the reinforcers that they wanted. So it helped to take helped them to regulate their behavior because they knew where they wanted to end up and how many warnings they got before it became an unearned point and all that. So that ran very smoothly. And then the second subsection says several strategies are used to promote self-management skills. And students are involved in monitoring data for some IEP goals. This I felt was also a strength. As I explained before, there are social skills, coping skills, behavior skills, self-regulation skills, and then zones of regulation is also used in the classroom. So all of those skills are being taught, and then they're also implemented, practiced, and then used by the students. So I felt like those were that was a real strength for the program. As far as monitoring, students are able to monitor their own behavior, which created a self-monitoring system, and then as well as the teachers obviously have those behavior charts and are able to confer over those. In this classroom, the students don't have any significant academic goals. They might be like the mechanics of writing or work completion, stuff like that. The majority of them are behavior goals, social skills, coping skills, straight behavior, self-regulation, those kind of things, goals that they have, and so the students are able to do that through their behavior charts. But a few of them do have some minor academic IEP goals, and then they're able to chart those and graph those in a binder that they have as well. So I felt like this was a real strength for this program. The third category is looking at functional behavior, and I felt like, again, these were both strengths for the program. And those two subcategories are when interfering behaviors occur, team members conduct an FBA in collaboration with family members, generate a hypothesis statement of an FBA about the potential functions of the behavior, identify possible replacement behaviors that can serve as the focus of the intervention to reduce interfering behaviors. And then secondly, then team members develop a comprehensive intervention plan in collaboration with the family that includes assessment of current skills and any interfering behaviors, instructional strategies for teaching replacement behaviors and skills, practice strategies, and then a plan for what to do if interfering behaviors continue to occur, and implementing the identified strategies in a consistent manner. And I felt like both of those pieces were very strong for this program. All of the students have functional behavior assessments and behavior intervention plans that are based on those students' behaviors, and incorporate all of those aspects, as well as there are daily behavior charts. So those behaviors are tracked on a daily basis, and so it's very easy to see if a plan is working or not, and if that intervention is not, then they go back to the table with their team and come up with a new plan. So I felt like those were both strengths for this program. The fourth category is family involvement, and those two subcategories I felt like were also strengths for this program. It says key team members have a system for regular communication that is individualized to each family and is consistently used, and that teachers or team members are avoiding jargon or acronyms when communicating with the family, and when technical terms must be used, they are explained. And then the second subcategory is that team members provide information that is important and individualized to families. Information provided to the families by team members contains few technical terms and is easy for most parents to understand. I felt like these were both strengths for the program. Excuse me, as I discussed before, there are daily behavior charts. There are also emails and phone calls that go home. These are done on a daily basis, depending upon the daily behavior charts go home with everybody, but the other types of communication just depends on the students, the parents' choice on how they would like other communication to happen. And then there's always resources that are individualized to family needs that we provide as well. So I felt like those were strengths. And then the last section is teaming. The second and third subcategory I felt like were strengths for this program. It talks about key members providing effective feedback and frequent communication and data, paraprofessionals having formal training and are able to participate in the team. And then I felt like both of those were strengths. That all of those things are done within this program. And then what I felt like needed a little bit of work was that team members take responsibility for implementing actions. I do not feel like there is a plan if there is a disagreement among the team. It's kind of like we just continue to work out and hopefully that everybody comes to an agreement. And then if they don't, we're kind of in a standstill. So I felt like that's something that could be worked on. So I felt like most of these were areas of strengths other than, like I said, that team part, and then the teaching skills to typically developing peers. I hope you enjoyed the second part of my APERS video. Thank you.